amazing rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So when making a video, one thing I always look for is synergy. Now, what is synergy? It's when more than one thing's are happening at once. I'm a bit of a superstitious old soul, right? I'm a Bible thumping, creationist, right? I'm a reason. Although that bit I don't think is superstitious. However, when things can happen that dovetail into each other in my life, I pay attention, right? I go, because I do believe that God's real, and that's basically how I think God talks to us. But hey, listen, this is not a religious a podcast. I'm like, you believe whatever you want to believe, and be happy in that. Do you remember that old, this was before my time, but I saw, they had it on reruns or repeats, as we call it in England. Dave Allen used to have a great talk show. Very, very funny comedian, right? But he also had a great talk show where he would just like talk to people very openly and honestly. And I think at the end of that, and his comedy show, he would also say, "Good night and may your God walk with you." And honestly, I think that's just a great sign off. I wish I thought of stealing it, but I didn't. But yeah, that's basically how I feel. I look for synergy in the world, so I got the most bizarre two articles from Screenrant, which juxtapose against each other in such an incredibly strange way, right? Such an incredibly weird way. One is talking about the lost stories from the 60s that were junked in the 70s. Somewhat tragic to all Doctor Who fans. We're all like, oh, that's painful, right? And listen, I enjoy the reconstructions. I would much rather the originals. I mean, the reconstruction, the animation reconstruction of Fury from the Deep, really left a lot to be desired, right? It wasn't very good, and what made it much worse is comparing it to the few clips we had, which were really in good quality. I'm surprised at how good quality they are. Comparing it to the few clips we had, it was like night and bloody day, So while I do love these reconstructions, right, I absolutely adore them. They're there because we crave to relive the past. That's why I always watch them in black and white. I'm never big into the color versions. If you are, again, God bless you. Vive la difference. I think having different people think different things, probably a good way for the world to run, right? That's what I would think. Anyway, so we got that story, right? And then, without realizing it, at the same time, we have a story, essentially how the current era of Doctor Who destroyed Doctor Who, without realizing they're talking about the current era that destroyed Doctor Who. It's just putting the two together, talking about the actual destruction of Doctor Who. All are A-OK. They're happy for that. The ideological destruction of Doctor Who, which is how I would describe the Jodie Whittaker era, the Christian Jodie Whittaker era. It was an ideological destruction because they wanted a new ideology, which is just not very popular, and they always do this trick, right? Always do this trick where one trick they do is go, "Oh, what does woke mean? It doesn't mean anything. You're just making it up." It's not a term I use a lot because I find it very triggering and blocks people off. But a definition for that, whatever you want to call it, is the platforming of very, very strange ideas that not many people agree with, along with the platforming of very, very normative ideas that everybody agrees with on an existing popular franchise. And almost always it goes hand in hand with a massive drop in quality, right? So that's what I would say woke means. Again, not really a term I use often. So they would say, if you say, I don't think these underage chemical castrations or double mastectomies is a good thing, right? I don't think I just don't think it's a good thing. They then turn around, "Oh my God, you hate gay and black people." I'm like, wait, what? It's a bait and switch, right? It's a bait and switch. But anyway, so that's I think the ideological destruction of Doctor Who, for me, should be a hero, should be heroic. And I don't think the way they wrote or performed the current era of Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker, she was heroic at all. I mean, we had many chances for heroism, And you know, I mean, even when he was like, "Hey, Doctor, do you want to sit in the TARDIS?" And Doctor Who's like, well, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who's like, you know, I would if I wasn't so shit scared of being with somebody, but I'm a blithering coward. Also, I'm an idiot that doesn't know anything and can't solve any problems on my own. Am I making this up? No. There was one Dalek in our first Dalek story, right? Resolution, right? There was one Dalek. Couldn't deal with it without, about 30 people in the TARDIS trying to force the Dalek out with a microwave. Oh, I can't remember what bollocks. She can't do anything on her own. So I think that's the ideological destruction of Doctor Who. They don't like that either, right? They don't like the ideological destruction of Doctor Who, even though they can't put it together in their own little minds. That's what's going on. But they're really happy with the physical destruction of Doctor Who. They say that's great, right? So we're going to juxtapose those things, and maybe it might just happen. We might take the piss. Yeah, why do I keep making these videos? Because they keep making these stupid articles, right? I think if you make a stupid article, I have the absolute right to take the piss out of you. I'm sorry. I just think that's the way the world works, baby. I think it's the way the world should work. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Listen, I'm not going to rush to take the piss out of you. You know, I would like to be friends, but honestly, if once you've been like an obnoxious hater, to at the same time say, oh, we love love, we love to be inclusive, you know, my patience is somewhat short. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things. Oh, you know it. Fandabby double dozy, mate. Fandabby triple dozy. Thank you very much. I am very, very, very grateful. Sign up my Substack. Sign up my paid Substack. These are email newsletters that, as you open them, right? As you open them, it's like a fountain of magic sparkles out, much like if you've seen the movie She Who Must Be Obeyed, right, where they bathe in the blue flame, they live forever, right? Same thing that when you open one of my emails, and you're sparkled with this rabbinic radiation, causing youth and vitality, and yeah, that's just the free one. The paid one, you know, there's incredible things could happen. Now, I want to be clear, results may vary. I always loved that back in the day when I used to listen to the radio where they had the morning drive. They had these like ridiculous ads on, you know, invest in Big Bollock Corporation. You know, you can make 14% on results may vary. Really, yes, we know that. We know that. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are very, very good. What's not very good is Screenrant. Although hilarious. Look at the hatred of Jodie Whittaker to Patrick Troughton. Icky thump. Oh, it's the male patriarchy. Oh, everybody hates you. Oh, male patriarchy. I'm here to break the glass ceiling. Oh, icky thump. Right, darling. Right. But are you getting the feeling that Chibnall and Whittaker are just ashamed of their time on Doctor Who? The fact they're in complete hiding and there's no promotion for their last turgid episode. I get the feeling they're ashamed and in hiding. How's Doctor Who's lost episode are secretly good for the show? No, they're secretly good. They might find a silver lining, but really, I mean, those 5 episodes I got of Web of Fear, they're some of the best Doctor Who I've ever seen. Would I like a 6th episode? Yes. Would I didn't really like the that weird reconstruction thing they did. It was like Grand Theft Auto. Oh, come along, Jamie. It was like it was like a Jerry Anderson production with people who were experiencing some kind of Tourette. So it wasn't very good. Anyway, so let's read this. Doctor having missing episodes is one of the many reasons the franchise is so special. Yeah, you know, I often think the Jewish people, once we lost 6 million people in Germany, yeah, that made us super special. You know what? I could do with being a little less freaking special, mate, right? I could do without that being so special. Giving it a secret history, much like the Doctor's own. Blimey, this is a bit of a stretch, isn't it? I mean, okay. Finding out Doctor Who has lost over 90 episodes in one of the most heartbreaking realities of becoming a Doctor Who fan in the 21st century. Well, get over it, darling. You know, I mean, we would have liked them to be here, but let's not go crazy. But talking about a chunk of missing history is one of the many reasons it's special. Is this good special or bad special? Is this a special where you end up on a small minivan and you go to a special school? Is that kind of special? You know, the school that they send people who are big into smelling armpits. That kind of special. When I say smelling armpits, not their own. In the 1960s and 70s, words like DVD and Blu-ray, home video, VHS, yeah, forget DVD and home video, DVD and Bluray had yet to exist, and television was considered, ephemeral. That's fair, and honestly, you know, I don't think it's really fair to lambast, I can't remember what her name is, the woman who decided to junk the show. She was just doing a bloody job, really. I mean, that's really what it is. She was just doing her job. We're only doing it for the others. No, but I mean, like, why is it on her to check? I mean, if there was, I know I've seen the documentaries there, but why would it be on her to check that BBC retains copies elsewhere, right? I don't understand, right? But look, it's tragic, right? It's tragic. Well, did you know? We were 1 day away from losing the original Daleks, the dead planet. It was all packaged up, ready to be junk. When it was junk, what happens is they pop out the middle spool from the reel, right, and throw it in a dumpster, so it all just gets muddled up and destroyed really, really quickly. He was a week late to save the Dalek master plan in Levine. It's just tragic. I mean, that really is tragic. What's more tragic is that the current era Doctor Who has been so unbelievably damaging to the franchise, they can't get funding to make any more of these animations. Hoping that Russell Lee Davies and Sony steps in and fills the missing gaps. Where are we up to? Subsequently, where many William Hunt and Patrick Troughton Doctor Who episodes broadcast via the BBC no longer exist, with archivists seeing little point in keeping them past their initial broadcast. Well, past their saleability, right? I mean, the point of these things was to sell them, and when they became unsaleable, they become unsaleable. The same thing happened with Red Dwarf when it got to like season 4 or 5. They were like, look, we can't sell season 1 or 2 anymore. It looks like from the arc, right? It looks awful. That's how we got the Red Dwarf special editions, which kind of fit in visually with, how was it, the season 6 or 7 reboot sort of thing, when they actually made it back to Red Dwarf. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't viable, right? People didn't want to buy it. I mean, I guess fans would have bought it, but that's really what they should have done, right? If we lived in a more enterprising age, they should have just put, instead of just throwing them out, put them up for bid. But people would have totally bought them. People would have bought all of these things. Steptoe and Son, they would have bought it, right? And they would have liked it. There we are. They're up to. Though junking of Doctor Who stopped in the late 70s, I thought it was the early 70s, and fans such as Ian Levine intervened with several stories. Over 150 episodes are already missing by that point. Over the years, private copies and telerecordings of the episodes for overseas sales have trickled in, both in the UK and places far-reaching as Hong Kong. Hong Kong's where they found Tomb of the Cybermen, wasn't it? I can't remember. It was one of those. The last finds were The Complete Enemy of the World and 5-episode Web of Fear. Such a good story, right? Such a crazily great story. I had no idea how good that was. I've listened to it before on audio, right? Oh, it's frozen. I have good news coming. My wonderful wife, it was my birthday yesterday. My wonderful wife has ordered me a new Mac desktop with a lot more RAM. I am looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to not seeing the whizzy wheel of death for quite some time. Have brought the total missing episodes down to 97. Despite the sadness, such as classic episodes of classic Doctor Who stories, sweeping Marco Polo and the epic Dalek Master Plan, or the tragic Massacre. Massacre's great. Oh man, Massacre is so freaking good. If you haven't heard the audio, I really recommend it. It's great, and it's an interesting introduction to Jackie Lane. I believe Jackie Lane plays. Is it a French character? Like she plays she plays somebody who's destined for the guillotine. I can't remember. She was in it doing something, and then they go forward a couple of 100 years, or however 100 years, and they bump into her direct descendant, also played by Jackie Lane, who had a weird northern accent, which she kind of lost very, very quickly. Although Lauren Cornelius, who plays her on Big Finish now, brought back the northern accent. Good for you, Lauren. Does a really good job. And listen, I may be biased because, look, Lauren Cornelius, not hard on the eyes. Okay, very, very easy on the eyes. And that does disrupt my decision-making ability quite severely. The epic Dalek Master Plan or the Tragic Massacre being partially missing or wiped entirely, it does give the Doctor Who franchise one truly unique element, a hidden past. Again, the Jewish people have a bit of a hidden past. They went up in chimneys in Germany. Right? I'd be much happier without the bloody hidden past, mate. Discovering 1960s Doctor Who also invites the fun of digging up pictures or otherwise of lost episodes. Yeah, but it'd be more fun watching the episodes, right? I listened to Tomb of the Cybermen when they released it on audio with Tom Baker doing the narration. It was so much better when I saw it. When I saw it, it was cinematic. It was huge, right? It was really, really cutting edge. But, okay. These people are just idiots, really. I mean, here's the amazing thing about Screenrant, right? They don't like or understand Doctor Who at all, right? They really get... Look, we're happy that the missing episodes are gone, right? Yeah. But we're sad that Jodie Whittaker ideologically destroyed Doctor Who, right? And they say stupid things like that, right? Absolutely stupid things like that. But here's the thing. Why do they keep talking about it, right? If they're so... like bonkers and unknowledgeable and dislike, why do they continually keep talking about again, synergy, right? Synergy. One of the things that blew my mind, I'm recording this on Wednesday, August the 10th, and was it yesterday, the day before, the FBI raided Donald Trump's place in Florida, Keeler. It's clearly some kind of setup to give him a bogus charge to stop him running in 2024, right? And if that doesn't work, I reckon they're going to get in contact with Lee Harvey Oswald, or somebody, because they cannot have him run, all right? I think they're okay with the DeSantis. But, like, that deep state cannot have him run at all. So that seems to be... So, but here, the point is this. At the White House press briefing, somebody else said, well, is this a weaponization of the Justice Department? Yes! Obviously, when you ignore everybody on one side of the political aisles, extreme, obvious criminal malfeasance, right? Hillary Clinton's server... Hunter Biden, Joe Biden. Yeah, if we ignore that and then we go after Donald Trump and go after, or they're hiring like 87,000 auditors in the IRS. I wonder if they're going to target people who voted for Trump. Oh, I wonder. Yes, they are, right? So is it weaponizing the Department of Justice? The reporter asked, and so the was it Karine Jean-Pierre? I can't remember what her name is. She was nowhere near as good as the last one. Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki was really quite brilliant. I was really quite in awe of the bullshittery that came from her. Anyway, I digress. And the amazing response came. We're not going to talk about that. We don't talk about the former president. We don't talk about Donald Trump. The reporter. That's all you bloody talked about since 2016. Right? That's the only thing you screamed about non-stop. And now you're saying, oh, no, we don't talk about it. So but same thing with Screenrant, right? Why do you keep talking about Doctor Who when clear... And you talk about it a lot, right? I get a lot of material from Screenrant. Why do they, why do you keep talking about it if you absolutely hate it? I don't understand. Okay, but let's go back to this article where they're saying, we're so glad it got destroyed. It's so good for it. Digging up pictures, tantalizing little clips that survive, and using book adaptations of scripts to imagine how those stories might have looked on screen. Unlike any other franchise, Doctor Who has buried treasure and a secret history, much like the character. Again, this is something we would like not to be secret, right? Hartnell lost how Doctor Who lost episodes have helped the series. Oh, we're still with that, right? Miraculously, miraculously, audio recordings of every Doctor Who do survive. I guess fandom was fandom even back then, right? Meaning that fans are inspired to ingenious feats of creativity, reconstructing missing classic episodes. This goes back to the 1990s when enthusiasts would create telesnap reconstructions. Why do you talk about the telesnaps? It's even more remarkable they survived. Telesnaps was this guy, John Currow, would take pictures of the TV when people are on it, actors are on it, so they could put it in their CV, right? Put it in there like, oh, look, I was in Crossroads and Doctor Who, and, you have pictures of them. That's what it is. That's what the telesnaps are for. Of Doctor Who was it from the off-air recordings and set photos. You know when they first started publishing those on the BBC website, bbc.co.uk, the Doctor Who. It was James Goss, I think, was in charge of the project, who understands and likes Doctor Who. So James Goss, the higher-up said, hey, why don't we make it so people can write their own stories with these screen grabs? And James Goss was like, why don't we just put it out so people can access them first, right? Why don't we do that? And then, we'll add in the bullshit that nobody really wants. Fortunately, that vice director of content or whatever nonsense job he got right out of college moved on to, failed up the ladder, no doubt. Probably in the boardroom now, slamming his testicles into a drawer with the other perverts who run the BBC and most of the world. Where are we up to? 99 piecing together episodes from off-air recordings and set photos. Now, this has now evolved into the official reconstruction Doctor Who animations, which are now over because they can't generate enough revenue. Funded by the BBC, including Power of the Daleks, that was good. And Macra Terror, I think one of my favourites. Faceless Ones, also very good. Though sadly it appears the animations are coming to an end soon. Yes, because Jodie Whittaker destroyed them. There are even full cast remakes of episodes, such as the University of Central London's 2019 version of the first ever Doctor-like episode, Mission to the Unknown. Glorious! And I wish they would do the same thing with Marco Polo, right? Get Dave Bradley in, or Stephen Noonan, who I quite like. People slagged him off. I quite liked him. I thought he did a fine job. I really did. I'm down to getting his next box set. I wish I was doing 2 a year instead of 1. Power of the blah 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 blah. Similarly, the audio recordings give creative inspiration to fan creators online, resulting in work like Josh Schneer's brilliant Doctor Who Missing Episodes YouTube documentary. I've never seen that. Right? Okay. Man, they've been giving shout-outs to some real... I don't know if he's toxic fandom, Josh Schneer. I don't really know anything about him. People tell me that he is, right? People tell me that he's part of the, if you're in the in clique, you are toxic fandom, sadly. That's where we came to in 2022, right? Listen, I think that, I don't like it myself, but I thought that animated version he did of, was it the Tom Baker story, Out of Time? Tom Baker and David Tennant story, Out of Time. I thought that I like the fan creativity, right? I do like fan creativity. I think that's it makes me happy, right? It makes me happy. I got us check out the Missing Episodes documentary. It was across animation, filmmaking, fiction, non-fiction, and Doctor Who fan base rallies together in increasingly inventive ways to bring these classics back to life and tell the story of people behind them. Listen, Britain, I think it's reasonably good for Britain World War II, right? It did unify the country briefly for those 5 years, right? 7 years. Yeah, it did. It brought people together. Would they rather have not had to go to war and have mass death? Yes, I think they probably would. Even outside the main show, relics like the script for the Peter Cushing's 1967 radio pilot have been studied and documented extensively. I'm surprised they haven't. I'm surprised Big Finish haven't done a Peter Cushing Doctor, right? The Doctor Who thing, and they could have put that into the set. I would have liked. Who would they get to play? There's so many people they could get to play him. Yeah, I do like it, right? What was it? In Doctor Who and the Daleks, Peter Cushing and Susie are being held by the Daleks, right? And he says, you'll never be able to use my TARDIS without me. Woo! And if I die, well, you'll never get into it. And Dr. Dalek's like, we will figure it out. And Peter Cushing's got this, like, great expression, like, It's great. Oh, another thing to look out for, right, in Doctor Who and the Daleks, which is glorious, right? Could you imagine if that's the only thing we had remaining of the Daleks first story? There's a bit where they're sending Susie, not Susan, out to get the radiation medicine back from the TARDIS, right? And the Daleks like escort her out to the edge of the city. As the door opens, it's in long shot, right? As the door opens, you see a Dalek go over a bump, and its top half literally wobbles off. Like you got it again, you can see it because of the HD. It's fantastic. Most notably, this enthusiasm has also led to remarkable efforts to rediscover copies of Doctor Who, of the lost Doctor Who episodes themselves. Most of them recently, the most recent find being missing TV hunter Philip Morris discovers on a shelf at a television station in Jos, Nigeria. Now, a private collector has 10th Planet episode 4, right? That episode left the BBC archives and went to Blue Peter, and never came back. Right, so it's in the hands of a private collector. Surely they're going to die sooner or later. At least I'm getting that phase of life from seeing people die. Surely they're going to die sooner or later, and at that point, maybe their relatives will say, "Here you are, BBC." I don't know, maybe. This collective quest in fandom to find episodes and success so far is a testament for the love of Doctor Who. We would love Doctor Who without the missing episodes too. We would love them if the missing episodes were not missing, right? Like, honestly, again, I always wish that we could just like exchange crap Doctor Who for missing Doctor Who. Like, wouldn't you? What I would give up Orphan 55 for the Space Pirates, and Space Pirates are supposed to be shit, right? I'll give it up more readily for either of the Daleks or Dalek Master Plan. Testament of Love of Doctor Who in itself, wholly unique and exciting chapter in its history. Though it will be a joy for the remaining episodes to turn up one day in a miraculous haul. There's no, well, that's what they said when Web of Fear and Enemy of the World showed up. They were saying it's like 89 episodes have been found. Could you imagine? Ooh, just imagine. And is still inspiring invention and craft unprecedented in nearly any other fandom. That's not true. I mean, look at the fan films the Star Trek world used to do before they got stopped by Alex Kurtzman because he's what's that technical word? Alex Kurtzman is a cunt, right? He's a cunt, right? And he stopped the fan-made Star Trek, which were breathtakingly good, right? They're all good. I really like them. It's everywhere. The fan-made Star Wars. I love the fan films. Doctor Who doesn't have that many fan films, maybe because we're busy working on the missing stories. I mentioned unprecedented nearly in any other fandom. No, not we're compared it to Star Trek and Star Wars, and we found ourselves lacking there. On top of that, there's a possibility that somewhere out there in the world, the first and second Doctor episodes that are, in effect, brand new to whole generations, finding out there are missing episodes of Doctor Who as a Doctor Who fan is upsetting, but the adventure and mystery befitting the Doctor themselves in many ways to rediscover them. God, how dumb. Like, really? How insanely dumb, right? How insanely dumb. So this gets dumber, right? Now it gets a bit dumber when they do this article. The 8 biggest ways to instantly ruin the show, according to Reddit. And they're going to go over how they ruined Doctor Who, right? It's such a weird juxtaposition. So this is from Reddit. Series Time Traveler's Wife, based on the popular novel of the same name, was recently cancelled by HBO. So was everything, right? Including Raised by Wolves, which broke my heart because it was brilliant. But, oh my god, Westworld, the best thing on TV. It's freaking awesome, right? Westworld is freaking awesome. With it. While there are a few dedicated viewers who are deeply upset by the news, more upset by Raised by Wolves. They couldn't see what Stephen Moffat had planned. There was others who struggled to get into it. I didn't struggle at all. I just said no. Due to the fact the non-linear time travel trope was stretched to cover an entire season's worth of television. It's not the first time that one element of the show has ruined the entertainment of the audience. Yeah, okay. The one element of the show that ruined the entertainment of the audience, Jodie Whittaker. Another one, the scripts, right? Another one, the insane lack of promotion. In fact, the rumor right now is that Chris Chibnall has cancelled the release of the Centenary special to avoid spoilers, and we can just imagine what it would look like, right? So yeah, oh no, don't want to spoil anybody and find out that it's shit, right? I get the feeling they're a little bit ashamed of their Doctor Who, and really, they should be. It's not the there are, in fact, of course, many things that can instantly ruin a television show for viewers, whether it be bad dialogue, Doctor Who, plotting that doesn't make any sense, Doctor Who, unnecessary time jumps. No, I can't think of those, actually. Maybe there... I can't think of any unnecessary time jumps. And there have been awesome time jumps. Do you remember that Battlestar Galactica when Boltar puts his head down after becoming president at the end of season 2 and lifts it up again, and it's been like 18 months later. Generally speaking, I like time jumps. I think when they're done well, they're really, really good. Where we go? In fact, we're in the... Well, right, many things to run a show for viewers, whether time jumps. The users of Reddit helpfully identify a number of things that will instantly turn them off at even an otherwise strong TV series, Doctor Who. Oh, look at that, time travel, right? Time travel has been an increasingly popular TV trope, not as much as multiverse, as can be seen from things from enduring popularity like Doctor Who. They don't really use time travel. And the first time they started to use time travel in a weird, interesting way would be, I guess, was it Blink, right? The first Angel story. The story that, like, they coined the phrase wibbly wobbly timey wimey, right? They don't. Doctor Who doesn't really use time travel that much. I mean, occasionally. Right, where Sarah Jane Smith says, well, Sutekh doesn't destroy the world now. It survived to the 1980s. The Doctor takes on the 1980s, all brooding, and it's a wasteland, right? I do like that. However, this isn't to everyone's liking, particularly Reddit, okay? Pristine Trash in 1692, for example, says, personally, if a show features time travel, I won't watch it because I feel it sometimes ruins continuity and realism. Okay? Weirdly enough, it's not the time travel that ruined continuity and realism. Really, for Doctor Who. Chris Chibnall ruined continuity and realism. With help by Jodie Whittaker, of course. It's easy to see why this particular convention will be alienating for many viewers. It frequently opens up more questions than the series is ever willing to fully answer or explain. Lost was another TV series that was particularly guilty of using the flash forwards, flash sideways. Yeah, it was part of the show, right? And flashbacks that mess with the timeline so much and befuddled the viewers. Well, only viewers are stupid, right? What derailed Lost was they made it too long. I think, was it 6 seasons? And it was really like a 4-season show, right? They did the same thing in Westworld incredibly cleverly, right? I'm going to spoil the first season for you. Westworld's about a robot theme park, like a Western theme robot theme park, where you go there to pretend you're a cowboy, but mainly to have sex with and murder and rape the robots. Right? That's essentially why one went there. So they have two plot threads about this older guy, the Man in Black, who's just a meanie in pants, and there's a younger guy, William, who's first time in the park, right? And both their stories are parallel, but then you find out they're one and the same, right? William is a young version of the Man in Black, and they tell the story in two parallel time zones without telling you, which I thought was very, very clever. There's a lot of it being very, very clever. Overly committed fandom. Screw you, mate, right? Overly committed fandom that I might point out what you're doing is unwatchable shit. Yes, I can understand why you would not like that, yeah? The key to success of any TV series, of any series, is the strength of its fandom. No, I think it's the strength of the quality of its production. Indeed, fan devotion is often one of the things holding is often the deciding factor in which a deciding factor in whether a TV series gets cancelled or renewed. One particularly committed fandom that can rescue a series once it's been cancelled by a particular network. However, well, you know, I think we're somewhat responsible for the cancellation of Doctor Who in '89. I mean, so John Nathan Turner and Eric Saward. I think Eric Saward's it was slightly bigger, a slightly bigger criminal in that. Michael Ray just seemed to make sense when I heard his interview. It was like, well, nobody liked it, got terrible ratings, and it was embarrassing. And I was like, yeah, it kind of was. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love that era, but I think it was on the money. And a particularly committed fandom can rescue blah, blah, blah. However, it is the case. However, it's also the case that especially zealous fandom can ruin the experience for those who don't share their devotion. Well, you know, let's talk about the insane Jodyites, right? And if you like this era of Doctor Who, God bless you. I am genuinely happy for you. But if you don't like it, you're going to be called a racist and a sexist and all kinds of things, right? I am sorry we don't like it, and I'm sorry we have very good reasons not for liking it. And I'm sorry you don't like that we have very good reasons for not liking it. Yep, they come back. Where'd it go? Chicago Redditor 1, for example, says a fan base can't shut up about being best and their personal deal breaker, since some fans can overstep personal boundaries and go out of their way to invalidate another person's feelings. They disagree. They didn't go out of their way to invalidate feelings. They felt invalidated by criticism. They felt their unbridled love for this current era, which was based purely on Jodie Whittaker having a vagina, right? Or being identifying as a woman, however you want to describe it, right? Yeah. So they felt they were being attacked when we legitimately criticized and went, "This is shit." Right, so then they hounded us off social media. I mean, it was just the weirdest thing, calling us bigots. So, but I don't think they think of it that way. An overly critical fandom. Well, I think you're saying the same thing. Though many fans will lift up their chosen fan object as something to be praised, and they will do it no matter how bad it is. That's why I think Star Trek fans still get mad at you for pointing out how awful Discovery is or Picard is. Love Strange New Worlds, baby. I love Strange New Worlds. Yeah, a lot of fans get mad at you about that. And I think same in Doctor Who as well. Though many fans something special, it's often the case that some fans, Star Wars is a notable example, can be strenuously critical of their chosen fan object. No! You know, why are they critical? Because Kathleen Kennedy is in charge of it, and she is a bumbling moron with extreme power, right? She's an absolute disaster. Everything she touches turns to shit, right? Have you seen The Last Jedi? Every creative decision in that is bad. Did you enjoy the Princess Leia Chronicles as she ran bravely from kidnappers? No, I didn't much either, right? Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi got a look in every now and again, but it's essentially the Princess Leia Chronicles. Then they had me steady and brave at 10 years old. Oh, look, there's Luke Skywalker. We're not going to see him again. Screw that. Icky male, right? So he says that some stars in particular in particular, who nitpick everything about every single show. No, I mean, again, most of us like The Mandalorian, right? Most of us hated Boba Fett, which was enduring shit. The only time the Book of Boba Fett made it so I didn't want to slam my head in a vice was the 2 episodes where it was basically The Mandalorian, right? Get rid of the rest of the Book of Boba Fett, make those 2 episodes into a movie, and then you've capped off The Mandalorian. I don't think any more stuff going to come out that's going to be good. However, the Cassian Andor trailer looks really freaking good, so I don't know what to tell you. I say one thing. Look, Disney's pure evil. Let's just be clear. Disney is absolutely pure evil. They are the generator of pure evil throughout our culture. They're absolutely terrible. However, we got Disney Plus here now in Israel. My wife and my daughters are addicted to it, so I watch it as well. Their streaming is so smooth. Seamless. It's incredibly smooth. I'm watching Alien in 4K, so I'm going to enjoy watching that in 4K. Like on a cell signal, it was really incredible. Oh, we're about a month out from fiber. Oh, apparently you get a gigabyte download bandwidth and 100 megabyte upload. Just imagine. Unfortunately, this is a double-edged sword. As many franchises would be satisfied to have fans who are enthusiastic and passionate about the characters and story. Well, how about this? How about not taking relentless shit on your characters, right? That might be a good idea. Then you might notice the fans not getting so upset with you. Have respect for what it is you're working on, right? And if you did that, you would be bumping into far fewer irate fans. However, there is definitely a few limitations to this as well. Some fans take the constructor systems too far. Some may say that about me. I tell them to fuck off. But to the point they can upset the cast and crew. Oh no, we don't upset the cast and crew. Listen, darling, I'm sorry Rose Tico was a shit character, shoehorned in, written badly and played like she just swallowed a wasp, and all of a sudden the incredibly charismatic and handsome John Boyega falls head over heels in love with this dumpy misery. A misery generator, right? Yeah. I'm sorry it upsets you, darling. But, you know, you should have the self-awareness to understand you're a diversity hire, especially now, right? Especially now. And if you are a diversity hire, you do not have the room to be anything other than outstanding. Take, for example, the latest, the adaptation of Sandman. The woman who plays Lucian, Vivian Plumply Pling Pong, is a diversity hire, and she doesn't have the acting skill to overcome it. She doesn't remake the character that she plays. She's wearing a male hand-me-down, and it's weird and it's awkward. However, Jenna Coleman plays Constantine, recreating the character, making it fresh and vibrant, right? They are both diversity casting, right? One works, one doesn't, and that's you raise the game when you do that. Unfortunately, so it hurts the casting crew's feelings. Don't make shit. How about this? Don't make relentless shit that wags its finger and hates its audience, and maybe they won't react badly to you. Unnecessary time jumps. Well, how do we define unnecessary? Although, along with time travel, time jumps have become a key storytelling strategy. I don't really see that. Okay, for better or for worse, I see it done very cleverly in Westworld, right? Not so many other places. Very often, an episode will begin with a traumatic event, only for the scene to cut back sometime earlier. Yeah. Oh, that's so overused, right? That's not a time jump, but that's a dramatic structure which is overused. Why? Because it's an easier way to get you into the story quickly. While this does help build drama and suspense, and while it does give the following episode something to work towards, it has the potential to derail the viewer's pleasure. Oh, we don't want the viewer's pleasures derailed, do we? Steve, whoever he is, agreed. Hate it when they see this. Employed a series of "it's likely that there might be executed properly." Might not be executed properly. Lost certainly overused this in season 4. Well, season 4 was a season too much, right? That's a season where they trod water. I don't think it was a time jump. I think it was the studio wanting it to go on longer, right? With viewers often complaining that constant time jumps between and stuff occurring online and offline was hard to follow. Okay, if you're a dummy, it's not for you. I get it, right? It was made for, network TV. But if you're a dummy, it's not going to be for you. Yes, I agree. Strange event that go out unacknowledged for too long. Doctor Who, right? Really, Jodie Whittaker. How did those rags in her second episode know she was a timeless child when she didn't, right? So many plot holes. I mean, I was just thinking, what other plot holes? I'm just running out of them. Like, I'm not going to let you kill the spiders, Donald Trump alike. Icky thump. Because I'm compassionate. So what are you going to do? Let them suffocate horribly and die in agony. Because, I'm hope for me. I'm a fizzing energy ball of hope. Icky thump. No, you're not. You're a cunt. Really? This is something of a golden age for speculative fiction. There are many great science fiction series on the air. As a result, there are often too long stretches of series. Stranger Things come to mind. You should have been around where we watched The Sopranos. It was like 2 years in between seasons. As a result, there are often long stretches that come to mind where where unsettling things happen, but far too many people don't acknowledge them for what they truly are. Okay. This can struggle for some viewers, such as this Redditor, who writes, it's very tedious to sit through a show with strange events happening, but the characters take too long to acknowledge it. Look, this is just bad writing is what you're talking about. And I don't really see it that much. I mean, I see it in things that are woke. Again, I refer you to my earlier definition. But maybe not. A laugh track, right? Studio laughter, fine, right? Red Dwarf, Back to Earth died without a studio laughter. It really did. It's such a shame. For many, for much of sitcom history, episodes were punctuated by laugh tracks. They are indeed one of the hallmarks of the genre. No, it's in front of live studio audiences now. And even when they, Happy Days is filmed before a live studio audience. And they are indeed one of the hallmarks today, and even they persist in the full. Okay, this is not a crime of Doctor Who, right? We can let them off this one. Could you imagine putting a laugh track in? That would be weird. Although that's not about that. Actually, might make Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who watchable, right? Could it be? Could it be? I don't know. They could do. While they do help to give a sense of liveliness and presence, they are often a turn off for today's more cynical, self-aware audience. Don't be so cynical and self-aware, right? Can't stand it on most shows, especially shows that design the scripts around a laugh track. They all use live studio audiences. I don't know what you're talking about. Unfortunately, as much as the characters I love, The Big Bang Theory are often guilty of this, particularly in later seasons. It's in front. Again, it's not a laugh track. Although, what is weird, though, if you watch MASH, the American version of MASH, there's a laugh track. Like canned laughter. There really is a laugh track. In England, they don't have it. Much better, right? Much better without a laugh track. Contrived and bad dialogue. Okay, Doctor Who. But let's remember, it's good that they got rid of all those missing adventures, right? Thank God they got rid of all those missing adventures. Yeah, they got bad and contrived dialogue now, which has caused the show to implode. But why worry? Why worry, baby? Dialogue is, of course, one of the most important aspects of a TV show. Icky thump. I always wondered what it would feel like. What's that? What's that, Doctor? Oh, the end of the universe. Icky thump. It helps to establish that characters are very often allows individuals to share feelings and emotions with others. You know, a show that had terrible dialogue, right? Weird, like otherworldly dialogue that made no sense whatsoever. The Sarah Connor Terminator show, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, with Lena Headey as Headey, is that her name? As Sarah Connor, right? Weird dialogue in that. Quite like the show otherwise, though. It helps us out as a character, blah, blah. It often happens to be one of the aspects of the series that can end up being poorly written. Yes, look, everything comes from lazy writing, right? Everything comes from lazy writing. That's why everything falls apart, is because of lazy writing. Riverdale fans might particularly rate to ever-shaped frustrations, particularly when they talked about characters being dumb for plot reasons. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but since it's perfectly summarized in Archer's arc at the beginning of season 3, there are definitely some lines at the beginning of those first couple of episodes that fans couldn't help but cringe at. Okay, I haven't seen it. Side plots that distract from the main story. Well, if they all feed into the main story, that's fine. I think Game of Thrones, they didn't have enough side plots, right? I don't know why they're going after Game of Thrones. But side plots that detract from the main story, well, look at Doctor Who Flux. It was all side plots, right? And no main story. And when you got the main story, it was weird and didn't make any sense. Lots of stupid names that we've never heard of. Here at the Temple of Atropos. Oh, okay. Many series have been complex. Okay, this is basically a whole article. Somebody saying, "I'm too stupid to watch TV," and I still don't like Doctor Who. Many have been characterized by their complex plotting. Series such as Game of Thrones, for example, were often popular because they kept viewers guessing about what was going to happen next. Indeed, it is part of what made the latter one of the best series on HBO, yeah, until they destroyed it, because poor writing coming from Dan and Dave. Do you remember them? They vanished into oblivion now. Dan and Dave being very successful and being able to afford a lot of cocaine, right? So they snorted a lot of cocaine, in my opinion. I wasn't there at the time. And they said, "This is awesome! Everyone's gonna love it." Have you ever seen, who was it? Emilia Clarke and, who was it? Jon Snow. Yeah, I don't want it. Who was it? What's his name? When they're being asked to red carpet, is this the best season ever? And you can see Emilia Clarke like, best season ever. I will always love Emilia Clarke just for that, even though she did one of the shittiest comic books of all time. What's it called? Mother of Madness. Oh. However, it's all too often the case that a series that can lose its way with a number of secondary stories that fail to add anything to the meaningful to the story, right? Cautionary warning says that side plots that have nothing to do with the main story, stuff that can be skipped entirely without ever noticing. Well, you know, I kind of felt that way. They had this show on called Jupiter's Legacy, which I love the comic book, right, that it came from. But the TV show was turgid, and thankfully it got cancelled before I finished watching it. So, oh, thank God I'm out, right? So the story is about superheroes, and they added in this whole plot in the first season about how these superheroes got their powers in the 1920s, right? In the comic book, they covered that in 3 pages in the first issue at the beginning. And that was it, right? Because it didn't matter to the story. I was watching this every week. It was every episode. It was just going on about them building up to getting powers. We know they're getting powers. We've seen the future part of this story. That entire half of it was, completely skippable. Yeah, it was crap. Thank God it didn't get renewed. Entirely without ever noticing, there are one of the things that immediately turns them off a TV series. It's a reminder that writers should be cautious about trying to add too many filler plots. Adding too many filler plots. Well, yeah, they do that because of lack of talent, right? That's what it boils down to. A lack of talent, right? Which is a commodity that is not in short supply in 2022, which just makes me feel somewhat galling that they celebrate the destruction of television from an era where people actually did have talent, had to earn their place. So once again, Screenrant, love you, baby. Don't know why you keep talking about Doctor Who. You clearly don't understand it, and very clearly hate it. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.